tell it. People on the streets say Sabrina speaks. Tune into the show, she will let you know. Tell all your friends and family. Real talk is no joke. You get the news straight up from grassroots and concerns. You can hear with some people gone. So tell all your friends to tune in to
Good evening, Cayman. I'm Sabrina Turner, and welcome to Sabrina Speaks, your daily dose of clarity, truth, and community insights. Every weekday from 5 to 6:30 p.m., we're tackling the issues that affect you, from national headlines to grassroots concerns. Whether you're in traffic or winding down your day, this is your chance to hear it straight and speak your truth. So buckle up, Cayman. We're not holding back.
This is the show. We gotta let you know. Now we got to go.
And now here's Sabrina.
Hi, good evening, everybody, and welcome to this, another edition of the Sabrina Speaks. Yes, the Sabrina Speaks show right here on cmrtv.com and coming live to you on many other social media platforms as well, such as Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. It is indeed a pleasure to be here with you again for another insightful, informative show here that we have lined up for you. Yes, we are exciting. I'm sure you're enjoying the content shared here. And today is no different than any other day. I'm excited, I'm motivated, I'm inspired to feature our guest today and a topic that hits home to so many. And I hope that you will be informed, and your participation, of course, is always welcome. Miss Connie, good evening. Welcome. And you're the first commenter today. Woo-hoo. Yeah, good for you. It is a pleasure to have you here as usual. And as we put another positive outlook on being thankful to be alive. And we, for those of you who are living and blessed to be living in the Cayman Islands, we are in paradise and we have to give thanks every day. No matter where you are, we're giving thanks anyhow, but there's something unique about being in a place that I am honored to call home, the beautiful Cayman Islands. Reaching out and saying hi to my brothers and sisters over there in the sister islands. Yes, Cayman Bracken, Little Cayman. I know we got huge support over there and a following as well. Saying hi to you, and definitely to the wider Caribbean, the world, UK. Definitely you are in the house. I know we have a lot of persons in the United States of America as well. Welcome to Sabrina Speaks. And it is a pleasure to have you here. Yes, Miss Connie, you're right there. I know the others will join momentarily. And it is always a pleasure to have you all tune in. I hope, Connie, you enjoyed yesterday's discussion. And like everybody else, I got excellent feedback, by the way. And Woody, he's such a humble soul. But I hope that yesterday's show was able to put a better perspective from the lens of merchants here in the Cayman Islands, but specifically as it relates to the importation of goods when it comes to our food item, the understanding the food market chain, sourcing, logistics, and all that goes into running an operation of that size, and making sure that, you know, we have stock. And I hope that you learned a little bit as well. My aim one day is to really get a lot of them around the table, like all the stakeholders around the table, and just have a round table discussion, because it is quite unique here in the Cayman Islands, and we can all be competitors in our own business, but at the end of the day, we are an island and no man is an island. So the mere fact that Mr. Woody has that profound respect of those other business owners in the same market, that, you know, he could honestly speak freely and openly, and he spoke about it. The relationship between himself and Mr. Randy Marin, who's one of the owners of Hurley's marketplace chain here in the Cayman Islands as well. And that was just amazing to show again that love for each other and respect for each other in the industry. Yes, hi, welcome, Miss Dawn. It's a pleasure to have you here. Shaka Zulu, my buddy. Oh, yeah. It's good to see you too. I'm happy, Miss Cotty, that you found it very informative. Michelle, early to class. You go, girl. I'm very proud of you. Miss Barbara, the other troublemaker, Takana, I got my eye on you too. But today plans to be an exciting day, and I know that we'll be speaking to Miss Beverley Edington. She is the administrator over there at the Breast Cancer Foundation here in the Cayman Islands, who will be we will be speaking more and knowing from her perspective, getting to know the wellness opportunities that are over there, a little bit more about the foundation itself, but also as we are able to put the spotlight on women's health and breast care, breast health. Oftentimes, leading up to this show, she actually said something that resonated with me. How often do we make appointments to go get our car service, even our pets, making sure that they go to the vet? When did you take time to do your last mammogram or even make an appointment to do that? Simple little things that, we can share. And there are services and organizations here in the Cayman Islands that we're blessed free of charge, that we have accessible to us right here. And that's exciting. I'm so happy to know that I'm able with this platform to showcase organizations such as this here to inform, enlighten, and engage with you as you also participate in the discussion. As our day goes, I always like to start the day with something very positive. And I felt, understanding the subject matter, of course, it's not gender bias, but I felt it was fitting anyhow, and we could just make it for both genders. Strong women of faith never give up. We might need a coffee, a prayer, or even a day to rest in God's peace, but we always rise again by his strength, trusting in his plan. We come back stronger every time. Amen. And I hope that resonates with so much of you. We've completed another day, and I hope that you all had a productive day at work. And I hope that actually enlightens somebody today, brightens their spirit. But without further ado, I don't want to hold my guest back at all. It is indeed a pleasure to welcome. Hi, Miss Beverley.
Hi, good evening, Miss Sabrina. How are you? Lovely to see you.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to see you, and welcome. This is your first time here on the Sabrina Speak show, and it's a pleasure to have you. Thank you for reaching out, and I am happy that I could have accommodated.
Well, thank you for having us and for being such an empowerment for women's health.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Before and even now.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That will never change, no matter what title they have behind my name, to be honest with you, Beverley. And it was indeed a pleasure to work very closely in that noble role as Minister of Health, former Minister of Health, in showcasing and partnering. And I know that, understanding the role that you all play in our society, in comparison to accessibility. When you even compare some other jurisdictions in the region, the Cayman Islands is a blessed jurisdiction to have access to screening and all that you have to do. So kudos to you and everyone.
One of the things when we are out in the community talking, and one of the myths we try to dispel, that there is more breast cancer in the Cayman Islands than anywhere else in the world. It's what we hear all the time, and I know you and I have discussed this, but actually, unfortunately, Barbados has far greater breast cancer incidence and a higher mortality rate than we have here, and it is simply down to early detection and the phenomenal level of healthcare that we have and the providers that are here on island.
Correct. And this is by no means picking on any particular jurisdiction. Anyone knows me. I am big on data. I am big on stats. And Beverley did say something very profound, and I was actually blown away when I got those stats. As a matter of fact, I was listening to an online town hall meeting, and that was when I realized how high breast cancer was in Barbados. and it was for the lack thereof of screening. So when
Yes.
people do present themselves,
Yeah.
it is at end stage, or, they're pretty much done. And
Exactly.
when you compare what we have here and all the great works like yourself, the Cancer Society does as well.
And all the hospitals and doctors.
Exactly. I mean, we honestly can't take, it's almost like it's taken for granted because it seems so easy, where else you have other people in other jurisdictions
Yeah.
that only wish, they only dream that they
Yeah.
could have the resources as we do here in the Cayman Islands, free of charge.
Free of charge. And I think something that we should be, well, especially here at the foundation, we're incredibly proud of, but that everybody across these beautiful islands should know is 10 years ago, 70% of breast cancer was not diagnosed in Cayman until stage 4. And everybody knows what a stage 4 diagnosis it is. And by the end of 2024, 70% of breast cancer was diagnosed at either stage 0 or stage 1. We've completely turned it on its head. And that is through the early detection program. It's through the awareness of all the NPOs that work together. And it's through the doctors and the hospitals on island. We've worked together to be able to do that. I mean, I'd love to say, oh, it's all us. And obviously we have our early detection program is huge and it gets bigger every single year. But early detection is what saves lives. If you get breast cancer diagnosed at stage 1, you have more than a 99% survival rate.
Wow.
And when people say to me, well, all this money, Beverley, goes to cancer research, why isn't there a cure? Well, there is a cure. It's called early detection. What they're saying to me is, why is there not a pill or an injection we can take to prevent it? Prevention is very different to cure.
Right. Now let's take it just a tad bit back so we can just gather and we get straight into all of the offerings that you have there, but delve in as well deeper into the importance of breast health. Let's go back in. You've been involved with the Breast Cancer Foundation as chief administrator since I think August of 2023. Now,
correct.
Even before that, you were a long-time supporter and service provider as well. What initially drew you to this cause, and what has your journey with the foundation been like thus far?
So originally, back in the UK, I worked at a hospice. So and 1 in 7 women are diagnosed with breast cancer, and between 52 and 58% of all cancers are breast cancer. So originally, you are being exposed to breast cancer more than anything else. But I'm a mum. I like to say of 2 young girls, but they're young ladies now, Sabrina. You've known them since they were young girls. And I think that that's where it came from, that as a mother of daughters and an activist for women's health, I wanted to get involved. So yes, I was a supporter. I was a service provider. I was quite integral working with the previous chief administrator on the establishment of their wellness program, having worked in one in the UK. So I was able to bring my expertise over and my oncology background and training.
Right.
And then I just, we're like a girl gang. And again, I've said this to you before, we're a girl gang that you don't choose to join, but once you join and you get that badge of honor, that pink ribbon, you actually realize we're quite a good girl gang to be part of.
Yes,
but we have boys as well.
Right. Now, understanding your background, as you alluded to, in complementary medicine and oncology specialism, how do you see that unique perspective pretty much influencing your role here in the foundation's approach to patient care? Because when you speak, you're not only speaking as, oh, I'm an administrator. You sense that deep down love, care, speaking from a position of knowing, and it's not just words. It comes from a positive and genuine place.
Yeah, I think first of all, my degree is in complementary medicine. It complements allopathic medicine. It complements what people would know as conventional medicine. Okay. It's not alternative. So that's very, very key, that here we have a holistic wellness program that works alongside the doctors, alongside the chemotherapy, alongside the oncologist. We don't advocate or promote anything that is not research-based and is not also advocated for by the doctors. So we do not tell any of our patients to do anything unless the doctor, their oncologist, has agreed to it, first of all. So I think that's very key to know. And I think from my point of view, anyone that knows me, I'm incredibly passionate.
Of course.
I can't help it. And women's health in general is very, very important to me, be it breast health or women's health in general. I believe that in 2025, we're empowered women. There are women in power. There are plenty of world leaders who are women. And I think everything from breast health through to the menopause, through to some of those idiosyncrasies that maybe females go through, you know, nobody's going to advocate for a woman unless they know what we're going through. And the only people that can do that are women.
And who knows it? Now, understanding this is not gender bias by any means, because we do have men coming up with breast cancer.
Yeah,
what are those stats like?
2% of breast cancer is now with men. Here at the foundation, we have just over 500 people that we're supporting, of which 2 of them who are in active treatment at the moment are gentlemen, both Caymanian men, one of whom, this is his second bout of what we would call chest cancer, but it's exactly the same. It might show slightly differently. And one of the conversations we've had 2 years ago, our keynote speaker was Matthew Knowles, who is Beyonce's father, who has had stage 2 male breast cancer and has undergone a mastectomy. So the same surgery as a woman would. And we asked him what it was like to go into a clinic, which will be probably run by women and surrounded by women, to undergo a mammogram, because that's what he had to do. And he said, everybody there thought I was there to support my wife until they called my name out. And again, that's something that we work very hard as a team to be cognizant of, the fact that, yes, this is not gender biased. Breast cancer does not know the color of your skin. Correct. It does not know the religion that you practice. It doesn't understand. It doesn't know your sexuality. That's something else that, you know, we come up against. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't know your religion. It basically knows that you have. It's given you breast cancer, and these days it no longer knows your age. It's no longer an old lady's disease, unfortunately.
Wow. It's just, you know, it's just hearing you say that and you break that down into reality. You don't know until it's on your doorstep. And that is why you can't stress that enough. Early detection saves lives. And
I'm like a stuck record.
Thanks. Yeah, I was playing around with it. Sandra threw me under the bus, and I'm hoping that people are understanding pictures mean 1,000 words. So as I engage with you, I make sure I go and I grab content for emphasis, and it makes the discussion so much easier.
Absolutely.
But, you know, just going back, can you elaborate on the core mission and values for that guide the Breast Cancer Foundation here in the Cayman Islands, and what really sets your organization apart? Understanding, as one of our commenters was saying, the disease itself is breast cancer, or any type of cancer diagnosis, is a family affair, an affair we'll rather not have. But that ties in to other organizations as well. But what sets your organization apart?
Well, first of all, I suppose all day, every day, all we're dealing with is breast cancer. So it might not be a specialism that we want to have, but it's a specialism we have. And myself and the rest of my team, we are all very highly trained when it comes to breast cancer. This is all we deal with all day, every day. We don't claim to be world experts, but if we don't know the answer, we'll ensure that we'll go off and we will find that answer out for you. And I think the best way to look at the Breast Cancer Foundation, we're 16 years old now, is to have a look at where we came from and where we are now. So originally, we were born out of Kim Lund's wife, who unfortunately, Brenda passed of breast cancer at a very young age. She was in her mid-30s. And it was back in the days when the oncologists came on island. They were here and then were away for 3 months. And in that 3-month time period, her breast cancer went from a low diagnosis and staging to a stage 4. So the importance, and what Kim decided he wanted to do was raise funds to give money to other charities that could help. So the Cancer Society, we're still one of the largest single donors to the Cancer Society that there is, and also the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens, and we still sponsor, we're their main sponsor of their walk every year that's done in Brenda's memory. Right. So to begin with, we just were there to be able to provide support, but we realised that what we needed is to run that early detection programme. So then what we did was we launched our early detection programme. So we have our wellness programme, which is there to support you should you be diagnosed with breast cancer. And we are there right from the start, from the diagnosis point of view. We will attend the meetings with you. We'll act as patient advocates. When you walk into that room to get that diagnosis, you don't hear anything. You hear the word breast cancer, and I think your brain just shuts down. Right. And so we act as your advocate. We'll sit, we'll take notes. We have a question list that we pass to the patient saying, make sure you ask the following questions. What is my diagnosis? What is my staging? Everyone says breast cancer, but do you know how many types of breast cancer there are? There are over 50 different types of breast cancer. The word breast cancer is all encompassing. So we're there to provide that help with that wellness program. And we have the most amazing wellness team here, headed by Pam Lawrenson, who will provide you an individualized prescription, is how we like to say it. You don't know what you need, and nor do we, but we'll work through it with you. Are you going to undergo chemotherapy? If you are, you'll need nutritional support. How is that nutritional support going to go? We get green juices delivered to you. We have fresh organic vegetable baskets that get delivered to you. We work with Meals on Wheels, that if you really are incapacitated, we'll reach out to Meals on Wheels to help you, or the food bank, because you can't go to work, and if you don't go to work, you don't earn any money, and what do you do? How do I put food on the table? The chemotherapy means that you could lose your hair. In every hospital on this island, all of the hospitals, there are cold capping machines. Those cold capping machines were purchased by the Breast Cancer Foundation and are there for every cancer patient, not just breast cancer patients, to help them with the indignity that goes with losing your hair. And we provide the volunteers to go in and assist with that in all of the hospitals. So that's something else that we do. Are you aware of the fact that you need to see a dentist before you have chemotherapy? Most people aren't aware. That trip can be $250. Your healthcare doesn't cover it. We do. Correct. And everything I talk about. And then we'll go on. Do you need surgery? After surgery, you'll need a specialist bra. Breast cancer is a very expensive cancer. A specialist bra, anything from $70 up to $100 for a bra. You need more than one. It's hot here. You need more than one bra. Prosthesis. We provide prosthesis. We have them in every skin color and every size. Doesn't matter if you're a 32A or you're 40F. Doesn't matter the shade of your skin. We have the prosthesis for you. We have swimsuits. And it goes on and on and on. And there's no charge for any of that. And then you go one step before that, which is our early detection program, where we provide mammogram vouchers and or ultrasound vouchers to anybody, any woman or man in the Cayman Islands who requires one, whose insurance is either full, maxed out, has no insurance, or you simply can't afford it. As long as you have a doctor's referral, we will send you. And guess what? If you can't afford to go to the doctor, we work with doctors, we take you to the doctor, and we pay for your doctor's appointment. And then we've gone one step even before that, which is we're now running an amazing awareness and education program where we are still trying to go into the schools. I'm still working on that one, Sabrina. But going into the schools, going into colleges, going into workplaces. We are going into churches and sports groups. One time we actually presented in the middle of the netball courts to 35 netball players at 7 p.m. at night, because what's important to us is that you know what you're looking for, you know what you feel for, and that you're not frightened to go and get that checkup, because early detection saves lives. I told you I'll keep repeating it.
Oh, so, yeah. And it's key. I mean, people do not understand it until you're actually, and I know it must be scary when we are taught, you know, those self examinations when you're in the shower and, you know, you just do it. And it's one of those things that it's best to do it, but then what happens? I can only imagine when you do feel something that is not normal. You could feel like you're alienated. I know I shared as minister a story where my husband, he actually had found a lump in his breasts, and it was so weird because, understanding my role at the time, he hid that from me for almost, I would say, a week. And when he did decide, you know, men, to say something to me, oh my God, Bev, it was as though I felt like, what's my purpose? What happened? You've shouldered this all by yourself, and you know how one day is critical. Thank God we acted immediately and it was nothing major. But this is something that, even though I was in that position, and we have friends and family like yourselves, organization, you know, I know people, which it shouldn't be. But at that very moment when that hit me, we felt like we were alone.
Yeah. Well, I have a niece who is now 21. And at 19, she told me that she'd felt a lump. And she hadn't told her mom, hadn't told her dad, but she told her friends at college, and they'd all had a feel, and they all were like, oh, it's nothing, you're only 19. And I was visiting, and it took her a while to pluck up the courage to tell me, and she asked me to feel, and I said, I'm not a doctor, but tell me where it is. And I explained to her that at 19, she probably had nothing to worry about, and similar to you, you know, I have all the contacts. I shot an email off to a doctor here back in Cayman and said, she's 19, what do you think? This is the size, this is the location. And they said she needs to see someone. And within 2 months, she had surgery. Now, it was a fibrous tissue. It was nothing. But what if it wasn't? The youngest person, Sabrina, that we've ever helped here in Cayman was 19 years old.
Wow.
And she went to the doctor. This is why it's not an old lady's disease. At 19, she went to the doctor and she was sent away and was told, you're 19, it's not possible. They did nothing. She went back at 20. And at 21, she came to the Breast Cancer Foundation saying, I've had this since I was 19. Everyone keeps telling me it's nothing, but it's now this big, 3 fingers. We got her with a doctor who did the ultrasound, and it was stage 4 breast cancer. And we traveled with her until she was 29 when she lost her battle with her life. And if anyone asks me why I do it,
what you do,
you can't see it, but there's a picture of her just behind me on the wall. She's a very beautiful young Caymanian lady. Many of your listeners will know her. She comes from a big family, and she is the reason why, and everybody else is why I do what I do.
So the dismissiveness because of age, you feel was the biggest mistake there. It's almost like a flippant. You're 19. I know as a child you grow up and, you know, you're at that age of adolescence and the hormones are going crazy. You know how women are. Yeah. You just play it. Wax and kernel, I think we called it. But nowadays you can't take anything, absolutely anything for granted.
And I think, again, it comes back to what you and I discussed. You get your eyes checked. You take your car to be serviced.
You take your pets to the vet.
Take the pets to the vet. This is a 2-minute, not even a 2-minute, a 1-minute check You only need to do it once a month. You don't do it any more frequently than once a month, 5 to 7 days after your period, or if you don't have a monthly cycle, the first of the month, feel it on the first, or sometimes I even say payday. It's a really big grown-up thing. Go to cost you less or price, right? Get your nails done, get your hair done, feel your breasts.
Right.
You know, tick, 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 tick. It takes 1 minute because only you know your body, and it's 2025. We're all empowered humans, and let's have that back. And I can see you've got someone, Jim Norris, the right diet. Absolutely. The right diet plays a huge, huge part in not only your treatment, Mr. Jim, but also in preventative when it comes to being preventative. 35% of breast cancer can actually be prevented through lifestyle choices, diet of which is one.
Yeah.
And it's no different, Sabrina, to the lifestyle choices that the Heart Fund will tell you,
Correct.
that the Chief Medical Officer will tell you in his STEP program. You know, I was in a training session where Dr. Omar Felix, who's one of the surgeons, oncology surgeons, he said, what's good for the chest is good for the breast. And that's exactly right. If you want to have a healthy heart, you'll also have a healthy breast.
Right. Now let's look at some unique challenges, if any, here in the Cayman Islands. Given the specific context of the Cayman Islands, what are some of the unique challenges the Breast Cancer Foundation may face in its efforts to raise more awareness, provide support, and advocate for breast cancer care? Let's look even at population size, access to specialized care, and, other cultural factors.
Okay, so let's start. I want to start off with some of the positives. The World Health Organization advocates that for make sure I get this figure right, for every population of women between the age of 40 and 65, there is a specific number that would fit in with how many mammogram machines you should have, which would mean that in the breast cancer in the Cayman Islands, we should have 1.7 mammogram machines based on our population. We have 5. So that's a positive. That is a positive. But where it falls down is, one, I'm frightened, and that is very much a cultural thing. And when I say, what are you frightened of? It's quite often I'm frightened of what the results might say. And I will turn around and say to them, a stage 4 breast cancer diagnosis is frightening. That is frightening. Going to have a test, not knowing you have breast cancer is not the same as not having breast cancer. And that's very key. When it comes to awareness, I'm really sorry, I hate to say this, it starts young, it starts in the schools. The NPOs need to be allowed to have access to the girls and the boys from puberty onwards, to give them the ownership of looking after their bodies and knowing what to look out for, but also to be making those healthy choices, to be avoiding alcohol, to be eating a healthy diet, to be exercising on a regular basis. All of that is very, very important, and it needs to be taught from a young age, both at home and in the schools and the colleges. The next thing would be that financial stigma. I literally, just before I was logging on very quickly, and I have a young woman, well, I'm saying young, she's 41, that's young, who has felt a lump, and she felt it 3 months ago, and she came to see me, and I said, why did you not go to the doctor before this? And she said, I didn't have the money to go to the doctor.
Oh, wow.
Right? Cost of living has gone through the roof.
Yes.
You have to start weighing things up. If you've got the basic SHIC plan, it doesn't really cover very much. And again, this is something, and I talked to you about it, and I'm already in talks with the new Minister of Health, another woman, yay, about how important and having a nationwide early detection program is. And this is not just breast cancer now. I feel that it's the same for pap smears, it's the same for prostate for men, it's the same for colon cancer. I'm an advocate for early detection on all fronts. So, and then you have the privacy.
Yes.
People may not step forward because they don't want to let their family know. They don't want to let them down. Equally, we have a lot of people who are living in Cayman. This isn't home. They don't have family there to help them and surround them. So there's a lot of walls and objectives, but I can tell you that whatever objective anyone puts forward, I've got an argument against it.
Right. Now, looking at fundraising and resources, always a key factor because for the phenomenal work that you all are doing. And when you look again in comparison to other places, for what you have alluded to earlier on, that is totally free of charge.
We charge for nothing at the breast cancer. So anything you've heard me mention, there is zero charge to anyone.
Wow. The foundation is entirely funded through fundraising and private donations. So what are the ongoing efforts to ensure the sustainable funding for your critical programs?
Well, I always like to joke that I'm actually only 32, but it's the fundraising element that's made me look this old. No, we are incredibly lucky and blessed in the fact we have some unbelievable supporters, both anonymous supporters and those that aren't. Quite often, we find that it comes after a family member has had a diagnosis, and your support, if it's 25 cents, that 25 cents will go towards something. I promise you, your $1, I'm always astounded, not that we shake a tin outside a supermarket, but if we're there, the people who you think wouldn't give you money are the ones that go out of their way, even if it's $1, and you know that dollar, they've worked hard for it. We have 3 major fundraisers a year. We have our Light Up the Night event, which is in March, where at sunset we walk along 7 Mile Beach, and it's absolutely unbelievable. You've seen the aerial pictures.
Yes, I've seen
where
some
we
pictures.
hold pink batons and we light up 7 Mile Beach pink. We do it in memory of those that we've lost, for those that are still fighting, and for those in the future. So that's one big fundraising event. We have our annual gala. It's hard work. We're just coming up to it now. It's in October. But again, thanks to the generosity of the Cayman Islands and the people here, people that don't attend, that they're so good when we say, would you donate something as a raffle prize? Would you we have artwork, the hotels come on board, the restaurants come on board, and then the attendees are incredibly generous when it comes to bidding on things, thank goodness. So that's 2 big events, and then we have a 3rd event. So next year we'll be hosting our 2nd Beyond the Scar fashion show. We did this 18 months ago for the first time. For the first time, and it's never been done in Cayman before. And we had a fashion show where every single model was a breast cancer survivor. 3 of the women were still in treatment, 2 of whom had had chemotherapy 48 hours beforehand. And it was unbelievable. It still brings goosebumps to me. And we were then acknowledged as community event of the year, because it was so different. So next year, watch out, you'll get your invitation, but we'll be doing that again. And that we do as a fundraiser. And then, as I say, throughout the year, the Rock and Roll Bingo, we just were awarded that. Several companies do dress down. They'll do a lot of it in October, but a little bit like a puppy. Breast cancer is not just for October, it's all year round. And everything I'm talking about 24/7, 365 days of the year. So, as I say, if you've got $1 spare, thank you very much. It will go to good use. Remembering that every single penny that we raise is spent here in the Cayman Islands as well. We don't send any of this off island.
Right. Beverley, we do have a caller on the line. Good evening, caller, and welcome to Sabrina Speaks. You're live.
Good evening, beautiful, and good evening to your guest, the lady, ma'am. I don't know what she name, but
her name is Miss Beverley.
Miss Beverley. But what I wanted to say, I be up on my mammogram and my pap smear. But the thing that I am concerned about is the colonoscopy, because I was scheduled to have one of those 2 times. But I know she's not a doctor. But what I wanted to say, I don't know why they give you all the problem that I have that I can't get that is this prep that they give you. That's too much, and I can't drink all of the stuff that they give you. So I was wondering if they couldn't come up with some other solution that they don't give you so much of that stuff, because what happens, I think it's like three pockets or something they give you, and the most that I can drink is like 3 of the liters or whatever it is that they suggest to drink. And I try to force it. I do everything that people tell me, but I'm not a person that can force stuff, because if I have enough of something, then I will throw up. And I keep telling them that. And then my sister says she don't understand why they give you so much here, because in the state they gave you one little bottle. So I was wondering, and then I drank what I could drink, but then I was honest the morning that I went in for the thing, and they asked me if I drank all the stuff. And I told them no, how much I drink. And then the nurse said to me, well, I think Dr. Matthew going to cancel it. And when they called him to cancel it, so actually that's what I'm concerned about, because I had 2 times that I had, and I am now 70. I've never had one of those. And that's what I'm concerned about, the colon one.
The colonoscopy.
Okay, so I'm it's not my area of speciality, but there's a couple of things I can recommend to you. First of all, if you go to the Cancer Society, they will give you a stool test, and so that's a first stage that you can do, where they will actually look at your stool sample. That test comes from the Cancer Society. The other thing is just do a little bit of research with the different options of colonoscopies on the island, because some doctors make you drink more of that fluid than others, and I totally agree with you, but you literally have to hold your nose. But one of the things that I was told to do was to actually put a slice of orange in my mouth and drink it through that, because it tastes disgusting. You're absolutely right. I have done it. But unfortunately, unless you have a clean, empty bowel, they can't do the test. So
I know, I understand, because my husband had to do one time, and we he went and ate, and I didn't know, and they said that the stuff was too murky that they couldn't, and he had to do another one. But I don't know. I try everything. I hold my nose. I do everything, because I say to several different people, but I can't drink the amount of stuff that they give you. I try, but I just can't do it. And I tell them, I got to understand, not everybody, because like I tell them, I'm not a person that can force things. I can't. I will throw it back up. I can't take any powder pills. They gave me some antibiotics one time. I can take anything in capsules or gel cap, but once it's a powder or a pill, they give me some antibiotics one time, and I had to drink them for like 2 weeks, and I get 3 days, and after that I start to throw up. Then I had to go back to the doctor, and they had to cheat. So certain things I can't force it. I don't understand why, because but like I tell them, every person's body is different, and I cannot force things.
Yeah, I think
cannot.
The thing to
Even if I eaten something and I get that I've done enough of that, and I say, well, I can't throw this out. I can't force it, because if I force it, then I can throw everything up. My stomach are very sensitive like that. I can't force things.
I would definitely say for you to call around to the different service providers. As I know that each of the 3 hospitals do a colonoscopy. There's also a clinic just upstairs. I don't know its name. I apologise. Above the number one shoe shop. Ring them all and ask them how much fluid are you expected to drink, because each doctor does have a different thing. So that would be my recommendation, but I'm not a doctor.
I know, that's what I was saying, but I said maybe you could. But then see that this is the thing too. Most of them places, because I'm 100% covered by Seneco, because my husband was a deputy fire chief, and they don't want to recommend you to no other place once they can do the stuff at the hospital. And I think that's not right.
Well,
and
Michelle,
then sometimes
may I interject? If you actually go and sit down with your clinician, your doctor, and you let them know that you have this issue, I'm quite sure with a modified diet,
with a modified. How many times I did it, but they don't come up. I did it. I even tell the what is the anesthesiologist or whatever. I even told them, and I don't know. It's like it's nothing to be done. You have to drink what we give you, and I can't drink it.
I mean,
I
correct
don't know what else.
me, Miss Sabrina, correct me, because again, you were the Minister of Health, not me. But
I don't really
can't
have
you
a
go?
regular doctor. I don't have a regular doctor. I go to anyone. I used to go to Dr. Robinson. The one that I went to the most was Dr. Court, and coming, but he kind of hard. I don't know. He don't seem to, because he was the one that gave me the stuff, and then when I went, then I couldn't do it. And actually, it's, I would say, not 2 times, it's about 4, but the other 2 times I had get sick, and they couldn't get flu and stuff, and I couldn't go. So this is like, and I say, well, it must be not to be, but I know several women, friends of mine now that had the colon, and that's what I'm concerned about. So I don't know.
Okay. Well, a caller, just leave us there with that. We can explore other options because from what I'm understanding, you've never ever had it done because you can't hold the amount of liquids that is needed in order to do the bowel prep. So with that, leave us there with that. Let me assist you after the show in trying to make sure that we can navigate the system and making sure
you can go through it.
Yeah. So just leave us there with that. And then I will assist you in navigating how best to move forward with you getting it done.
And then I won't say whatever, but I can tell you, because you're a woman and I know you and I got confidence, I can tell you why I am keen on doing it. But I don't want to say this on the show.
Okay, well, I can call you after the show.
Yeah. All right. Okay, thanks.
Thank you as usual.
Bye.
Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, so you see, those are things, and I many a times you said it best. People just need advocates. Because maybe all you need is someone to go with you, to make a call, to explain exactly, and there alternate means or solutions that can be looked at. But yeah, that's not a problem. I will definitely call that caller after the show, and then
we do act as advocates, maybe not in something like
correct.
that, but like I was just explaining to your caller, colons is not an area, but we work with the Cancer Society, so I'm very aware of the fact that if you need a prostate examination, you can go to the Cancer Society. If you need a pap smear, you can get a voucher from the Cancer Society. So we do work very, very closely together ourselves, the Cancer Society, Jasmine. We all work very closely together. As I already mentioned, we have ladies who can't work, and so then we'll reach out on their behalf to say Meals on Wheels and say, can you help here?
Right.
And I think that again is a real it's a real advantage of Cayman kind. Oh, that's my colleague, Miss Claire.
I'm definitely going here with this. Addressing the common concerns. Many women experience various breast changes throughout our lives.
Yes.
Be it lumps, pain when it's that time of the month. Some may even have a discharge or fibrocystic breast changes. Now, how does the foundation help with women understanding what's normal, what's concerning, and when they should seek medical advice? Sometimes you may think it's just that time of the month, or maybe the garment that you had on was probably pressing on it too hard. How can you, when do you know something is off?
Yeah. So first of all, in this picture, you can see there are 12 visible signs that something might be off and what your breast can look and feel like. Everybody's breasts are different sizes and different shapes. But the other thing is exactly here, you might start to see a thick mass. Your nipples may be inverted and then are the opposite, or one inverts and the other doesn't. Redness. There might be a new fluid. Dimpling, we often see if we lean forward, and then, the weight of your breast you might see. But we have actually worked in conjunction now. So the picture, if anyone can see it, of those lemons is with a global charity called Know Your Lemons. And for those that can see, this is the app. It's called Know Your Lemons, which you would download off the internet. And it's absolutely unbelievable. And what happens is it says enter, and 1 second, let me just.
What you said the link is?
It's called Know Your Lemons.
All one word?
Yeah. So what happens is, I'm just getting up. So what happens is, the first thing is that you would go in and you would put your monthly cycle in, or if you don't have a monthly cycle, remember I said feel it on the first. So this is mine. And so it actually reminds you to feel your breast once a month. So the first thing you'll be doing if you still do have your monthly cycle is avoiding those days where it's lumpy and bumpy. So you would go in, and then it says, do a self-examination. It says that at the top. So you would press that. And the first thing that comes up is the picture of all those lemons with the different symptoms on there. And then you can go in, and it actually talks you through how to feel your breast. It's a 1 minute short video and audio, and there's both male and female versions of it so that nobody's left out. And the other amazing thing on here, and sorry because I don't have my glasses on, it says there about noting a symptom. So you click on noting a symptom, and then it will ask you some questions. So as an example, if on your left breast at 12 o'clock, there's a little red lump, you would note left breast, 12 o'clock, small red lump, nothing to worry about. When you go to do your examination next month, it will actually remind you and say, last month you had a little lump at 12 o'clock, and you'll look down and go, oh, a mosquito obviously bit me, or it was a pimple, it's not there. Or you might say, actually, that is still there. And it will then tell you, so you'll answer some questions, and it will actually tell you whether or not you should seek advice with your doctor.
There, I just posted the link.
Yep, there's investigation tools on there, so it tells you different ways for screening. There is a doctor's conversation advice. And so it's absolutely unbelievable. But Miss Claire and I, who you saw in the previous picture, that's what we go out, and we will go into your workplace, we'll go into your church, even a group of girlfriends together, if that's what you'd like us to do. As I say, the netball court, football court, Miss Claire recently presented to the Cayman Islands women's rugby team. And we go through step by step how to feel your breast, what you should be looking out for and what you shouldn't be, because there is one, I believe that you can't quite see it on the picture, but there's orange peel, and that is a sign of inflammatory breast cancer. There is never a lump. You will never feel a lump when you have that type of breast cancer. You literally, your breast looks like orange peel. But the average size of a lump that you feel by accident is as big as 3 fingers. You can actually see that in the bottom right-hand corner of the picture. But a mammogram will pick up something the size of the end of your finger, and regular screening. And then again, I told you that we work very, very closely with the Cancer Society. The voucher system is run here, but some people can't get to us here in Grand Harbour. So once a month, we are based at the Cancer Society, so you can go there. Bring along your referral. That's all we require. You must have a general practitioner's referral, because once you have your mammogram or your ultrasound, the results have to go back to a medical provider. That's the reason why we ask this. But if you cannot afford to go and see a doctor, please come in and see us at the foundation. We have doctors in every district that we work with where they either waive the copay, they will not charge at all, or there's a token charge and the Breast Cancer Foundation pick it up.
Now, let's do dispelling myths. Are there any common misconceptions or myths about breast health or breast cancer in the Cayman Islands that the foundation actively works to try and debunk, dispel?
We really do. So a couple of them I've already alluded to. It's an old lady's disease.
Yeah.
Well, it's no longer an old lady's disease. Unfortunately, or maybe if we're trying to be positive, fortunately, in the Cayman Islands last year, the average age of breast cancer diagnosis was 47 years and 10 months. The global average is over 63.
Wow.
So it's a lot younger here, but we have this amazing early detection program. So we're catching it, and we're catching it early. So we actually don't mind if the number of people that are diagnosed goes up. We don't mind if the average age drops. We just want the staging.
It's catching them.
We want to catch it. So that's one. It doesn't just happen to women, it happens to men. A very, very important myth that we need to debunk is the fact that there's no breast cancer in my family, so therefore I won't get breast cancer. Actually, less than 10% is genetically linked.
Oh, wow.
1 in 7 women will get breast cancer. So if you take an average Caymanian family and you've got grandma, mummy, a couple of aunties and a few cousins there, you can easily have 14 women in the room. 2 of them, because 1 in 7 will be diagnosed, 2 of them are diagnosed and there is no genetic and familial link at all. It is just because 1 in 7 women get it. So please, please, please do not think because it's not in your family, you don't need to be checked.
Right.
Of course, it's even more important for you to be checked if it's in the family, but just because it's not in the family. Another big one that we hear in Cayman is, if I get hit in the chest, and we hear this a lot from men, when I was growing up, I was told I must never hit a woman in the chest because it will cause breast cancer. Being hit in the chest does not cause breast cancer. However, being knocked in the chest might make you go, ouch, that hurt. Hang on, what's that?
Right.
So you pick it up, but being hit in the chest is not causing breast cancer.
Okay.
An underwired bra, that doesn't cause breast cancer. Popping your cell phone inside your bra, it's not a good idea, but it doesn't cause breast cancer. And then when Miss Claire and I are out in the community, we do a couple of debunks that we say, which are Cayman specific facts and myths. One of which I already dispelled. The Cayman Islands doesn't have more breast cancer than anywhere else in the world. We have 51 cases per 100,000. That puts us bang in the middle of where we sit in the world. The number 1 place in the world is actually Australia, and that is because they have the best early detection program. So they're picking it up. And the other one is that the mosquito plane causes breast cancer. There is no link. And that's a real Cayman one. We have the water, the mosquito plane,
Right.
the food. I mean, the food doesn't help, obviously. You really should be eating a Mediterranean diet, keeping red meat and processed food to a minimum as best as you possibly can.
Now,
It's a wonderful team that you can see.
Yes.
Here.
Now, looking forward, how does the foundation plan to further empower women and men alike with self-awareness, breast self-awareness? Because we know men would probably tend to be a little bit more on the reserve side, but this is why it's so important for me to actually keep this conversation gender neutral, because you already acknowledged the fact that of so much things, that it's not prejudice to age, it's not prejudice to skin color, it isn't prejudice to gender.
No.
But looking forward, how does the foundation plan to further empowering persons with self-awareness?
First of all, going into the schools, speaking to people young, boys and girls, that's really important. When we go into businesses, we are very, very adamant that all members of staff attend the awareness programs. And I have to tell you, Miss Claire and I are often quite amazed at how the gentlemen are more engaged with us than than they are. Now, often they have daughters, and they have wives, they have sisters, so they're inquiring for themselves. But actually, we do emphasize that this is not gender specific. And 2 years ago, 1% of breast cancer was male. Now it's 2%. It's doubled in the last 2 years. Now, what if in the next 2 years it doubles again? That's 4%, and then it's 8%. Are they going to listen then?
Yeah.
And then it goes all the way back to what I've said, which is what is good for the breast is good for the chest. What we're advocating here in this is for all wellness. And early detection, just because it's pink, early detection saves all lives in all areas.
Correct. Now, this is, but again, understanding now that we're seeing it also affecting persons younger. And what strategies are you exploring then to speak even to a younger age demographic?
100% the app, because, if you're a young person, this is your life support machine.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
It's sort of like welded to your hand. So we do see a very big uptake and upkick in the people that download the app. So definitely we're using that. The Know Your Lemons campaign as well do have some amazing presentations, and they're very bright, and they're interactive, and they're very funky. So we've taken that on board in our presentations when we're out there doing them. We do adjust what we say depending where we are. So if we are with what I would refer to as an adult group, we will say that, and I think it's unfortunate but I suppose if a lump is felt, a lump is felt, but up to 50% of lumps are felt by somebody else whom you've given permission to feel your breasts. And I'm going to go say it again, it's 2025, ladies and gentlemen, we should be in charge of our own bodies. It shouldn't be someone else. But of course, if we're in a school, we're not going to be discussing that. But we just talk to the young adults saying, take ownership of your body, know your body. Nobody's going to know your body any better than you do. Look in the mirror. That's literally, you just need to look in the mirror. And if you notice something wrong as a young adult, go and speak to your parent. If you're afraid to speak to your parent, then go and talk to a counsellor at school. Talk to somebody that you can confide in that can get. Now, the chances of it being cancer, we're talking about facts and myths. Most lumps are not cancer. But please don't be that 19-year-old that was dismissed. I don't want any more of those. You know, as I said right from the very start, she had a very lasting impact on me, that young lady.
Right. Now, we know that there is life while you're battling cancer. Yep. There's definitely life after cancer. And I think that could be a very informative show as well in the future. I would love to get some survivors to see exactly what that's like. You mentioned prosthetics. You've mentioned that the Breast Cancer Foundation here actually have wigs. You have the cold caps. So much other things have been introduced while persons are, going through treatment or just coming out of receiving treatment. And we don't understand, or we don't realize how far-reaching a diagnosis of this can have on, one, the patient, two, your partner, three, by extension, the family, and even caregivers. So we have to look at this.
More on there, the workplace and your fellow work colleagues.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because there's a mental side of this as well that is impacted. Yeah. What have you seen with persons coming out of, one, getting the initial diagnosis, two, actually getting the results of a lifetime, you're in remission, and getting back to some sort of normalcy?
So we have some programs that actually fit in with this. So our wellness program, which I've talked to, we also have our survivorship program. So this is life after breast cancer. And we run a support group, and it's called the New Normal, because this is, you'll have those scars and you'll have that experience, but how do you move beyond that? And quite often what we will see is 3, 4, coming up to that 5-year period, you're waiting for that, you're cancer-free and you're completely in remission. We will see, and we continue to support, and we pay for people to go to a therapist. That therapist we pay for, not only for the patient, but you've just said it, we pay for the partner to go, we pay for the children to go, we'll pay for the caregivers to go, but also you'll suddenly have somebody ring us up and say, I don't understand, why am I low? Why am I so worried? Why have I got this anxiety? We'll say, is it your cancerversary coming up? That's what it's going to go, oh yes it is. And we'll go, that's the reason why. So we're very much for you're living with, you're not dying from. We're huge on that. So we have the second Thursday of every month, we have a group come in. We don't actually facilitate it. We have somebody else that comes in. The ladies come in their pajamas, they have pizza, and they talk about anything and everything. And it may not have anything to do with cancer, but it could be. And it could be, I don't feel sexy anymore. And somebody else will say, don't you? But I've tried this. And so, they're their own best buddies, basically. They can give that advice that maybe we can't. So that's one thing. We have a brand new program that we're just launching. We launched on the 1st of July, called For Everything Left Unsaid. And we just started it. And so it's a radio campaign and also a social media campaign. The first one was a mother calling her daughter and saying, hello, darling, how are you? And the daughter says, I'm fine. And then the daughter says, how do I tell you I'm petrified?
Oh, wow.
Right? And so then what we say is, the foundation is there for you for everything left unsaid. But what's really interesting, every single one of these adverts is based on a real life scenario that we've come across. So we have another one where, slightly being gender biased here, but is a man that says, oh, you're back at work, so you must be feeling fine. And then the woman says, how do I tell Alan in accounts that by fine do you mean I'm exhausted, that I'm petrified, I'm, all of this. And then we have another one where the child is saying, mummy, come outside and play. And the mother says, how do I say to them, I haven't got the energy to? Oh,
wow.
So it's for everything left unsaid. I think there's one more where it's a male voice saying, oh, darling, you look beautiful. And then the woman's voice saying, well, it's not that I don't love you, but I don't feel beautiful. For everything left unsaid.
Correct.
And we are taking from one step on from that. We're actually working with two big supporters, Invenio Global and Stepping Stones, and we're actually going into companies and we are doing training with HR managers on two things. One, as an employer, how do you react and how do you work with the patient, bringing them back to work? And how can you be that kind employer without
supportive
and without them not coming into work for a year? But if they can't come into work for a year, how do you ease them back into the workplace? But the other one is, how do people in work react to you? They don't know what to say.
Yeah.
And if someone says to you, how are you? And you go, fine, for everything left unsaid, fine doesn't necessarily mean fine.
Correct.
So so these are all the things, and this is what excites me talking to you, Sabrina, is we don't just give out mammogram vouchers. Literally, it's for everything left unsaid here at the foundation. It's for all the other things that we do. The mammogram vouchers it's important, but it's like this much of what we do.
Right. You see, we have a commenter here that Jim says, I'm a firm believer our foods have a lot to do with the rise in cancer diagnosis due to the amount of chemicals in the food with injections, dyes, fertilizers, insecticides, and pesticides, and all the processing. All this easily accessible. What I call lazy foods is no good, which is what we're saying. It's nutrition. Yeah. It is your environment. It is your ability to involve and introduce exercise. It's just a total awareness. And definitely it takes a village to raise a child when you're going through something like cancer. Yeah. It takes a village. There's no difference. And that's why foundations such as yours and other NPOs play such a significant role in any country.
Yeah. And also, I think you had Mr. Woody on yesterday. I mean,
yes, I did.
Exactly. So we have to work, as an NPO, and not just us as a standalone NPO, but we have to work with them. We have to be able to say to them, and we have an amazing, I'm going to call him out because I don't normally pick on individual people, but we work with someone called Farmer Clarence. I'm sure you know Farmer Clarence. He comes once a month and delivers fresh organic vegetable bags to us and coconut water. When you're undergoing chemotherapy, you might be blistered from your lips all the way through your digestive tract. Local coconut water will give you every piece of nutrition that you need. And he always comes in. We love it when he comes in. He comes in his Wellington boots laid down, and we are able, thanks to our supporters, to be able to buy those vegetables and give them to the ladies whilst they're undergoing their treatment.
Wow.
So,
Amazing.
and
Amazing.
we work with all of the supermarkets. That they're phenomenal in being able to support us in some way that they can.
And people don't, something as simple as that, and what we take for granted. Look at the importance and the part that can play in somebody's life.
Yeah, it really does. And just sometimes I can think of several cases where us just delivering that, the smile on that lady's face of what you care enough to drive to my house and deliver me fresh fruit, vegetables, and a dozen eggs.
Right.
Well, yes, we do. And my members of staff, nobody would think twice about driving to West Bay or up to Northside if that's what we need to do. I mean, it's easier if we can find a volunteer to do it because we're busy, but that's what we'll do.
Now, Beverley, earlier on in the conversation, you mentioned something about cold cap.
Yep. Oh, yep. That's a cold cap.
Tell us what that is, because one of the biggest things, and women in hair, when they're actually having to go through chemotherapy, that's one of the things that they lose, their hair. But this is cutting edge technology. It
is. So that one is actually a manual cold capping cold cap. And what happens is, now it doesn't work with all chemotherapy. That's the first thing to note. Certain chemotherapies, they are so aggressive that this won't work. And this does add and extend the time that you're in the hospital receiving your chemotherapy. But what happens is it chills the scalp down to 19 degrees. And at that point, any blood supply is stopped. So a chemotherapy drug doesn't actually just go to the breast. It goes into your body and it kills cells, okay, which is why your digestive system can be upset because and so one of the things it will do is it will kill the hair growth cells and your hair will fall out. This will restrict hair loss by up to 50%.
Wow.
Now, one of the things that I haven't mentioned that we offer is we actually work with some companies that microblade your eyebrows and will give you eyelashes as well.
Because they tend to fall out as well.
Yeah, exactly. But the plus side is you don't need to shave your legs while you're going through chemotherapy because it's all hair that falls out. But every single hospital in Cayman has this cold capping facility, and every machine was purchased by the Breast Cancer Foundation. It's there for every cancer patient in Cayman at no charge. So that was one thing that we were very adamant when we bought them for the hospitals, is that they weren't allowed to charge and also that they weren't allowed to discriminate.
So for someone who may just be hearing about this right now and they want more information about this cold cap, and I'm going to also pop another image here on the screen. Can you explain what that is?
Okay, those are the prothesis. So that is when you undergo a mastectomy, if you choose not to do reconstruction, and that might be on the advice of your oncologist and your surgeon, because if you're going to undergo radiation, sometimes they prefer you not to do immediate reconstruction. That is a prothesis. I think I said it to you earlier, we have them from A cups all the way up to, we have one, which I'm just like, but we had it for one specific lady whose breasts were that size. We also have them in skin shades as well. So you don't, it actually weighs the same as a breast, and you would put it inside a specialist bra. I wish I could take you on a little walk around the foundation. We'll have to do that next time. But you put it inside your bra, and it's unbelievable. The ladies walk in the room and they walk out, and it's like they walk in like this, walk out like this.
Oh, wow.
Just, look at this, especially if they bring their partners with them who go, their eyes pop out of their head. But we also have swim versions. So swim versions are lightweight versions, and we also have swimsuits. So, it's hot here. We have the beautiful 7 Mile Beach. We have the ocean. Let's jump in it. So you come to us, we'll fit you. All of our wellness team are specifically bra fitting trained. So, it's like going to Victoria's Secrets, but you don't have to spend any money.
Wow.
And they're not they're not fuddy-duddy bras. They're, there's some beautiful lacy ones and spotty ones. And then there's, more like a sports bra. But again, it goes back to what you said. This is life beyond.
Correct.
If you didn't wear scabby bras beforehand, why should you wear scabby bras now?
Afterwards, yes. It does do something for your whole personality, your whole
And your
feeling for the
demeanor, do
day.
you not think?
Exactly.
Sorry, gentlemen, for listening, but when a lady puts a pretty bra on, she feels pretty. And why shouldn't she?
No need to apologize to Jim or any other men that is in tuned right here. I'm quite sure they're all entertained.
All gentlemen
They
also
appreciate that.
There's
Now
the
you
bras.
got
There's the wigs.
those are the wigs, yeah. And this is like an online catalog or something, I think
It
you
is an
said?
online catalogue, but to be quite honest with you, that's probably completely, some of those I can see. So again, we have this amazing room. We've just on Friday opened our new, newly refurbished Breast Cancer Foundation, and we have our surgical accessories room. And again, we have over 200 wigs in every shade, shape, and length. We provide the caps that go. You come in, you try the wigs on. We give you all the accessories. We also, if it's not quite what your hair was like, we will send you to a specific person on the island that will cut it for you and will fit it. And they will do that. We just send you
They'll
there.
customize it for you.
It's completely customized. But we also have in that same room scarves. We have hats. We've got baseball caps. We've got tops. When you have your surgery, you have drains put in. What do you do with them? So we have little special camisole tops. When you have the surgery, you would wear a special compression bra, a little bit like if you have breast, augmentation or reduction. Some of the surgery, they do a flap, so they'll take skin from your stomach. You have to wear a special strap around you. It's $200. It's not covered by your insurance. We have them,
and
it's free. It's all free. If you have lymph nodes removed, there's a chance you might get lymphedema. Your arm will swell. You have to wear a special sleeve. Again, it's the Cayman Islands. It's hot. You can't just have the one. Not only do we provide those, we will send you to have the specialist physiotherapy to help with the draining. But even more than that, we have paid for physiotherapists on the Cayman Islands to get this training. So you don't need to go off. There's a beautiful young girl. Her name is Summer Phillips. She is a young Caymanian, 22 or 23. She has just done her physiotherapy training. She came back on, she wrote us a letter, and we paid nearly $9,000 for her to have that specialist training. So, there's a lot we do.
Right. Beverley, we have Miss. Yes, hello, caller.
Yeah, I want to ask her a little question.
Go ahead.
Because what she explaining, that's excellent treatment. That's good. I tell her thanks very much. But what I want to ask, okay, my husband went through 8 weeks of radiation and chemo. He only had chemo one day. That was on the Monday. And then from Monday straight back to Friday, he had the radiation and chemo. Monday was like double decker. He had to do the radiation first, then the chemo. But the chemo was not administered in his procedure when he the first diagnosis, because he had vocal cord. And it was a stage 2 when it was 2 centimeters. They now tell me what stage. It just said it was, Dr. Davis said it was a stage 2. It was 2 centimeters when they diagnosed him, right? But then by fighting the insurance, it had gotten to a stage, 3 centimeters. And then when they refer us to Health City, Dr. Benita says, then they assess him, and they said that they will have to hit him with one treatment of chemo, because his breathing, it was just on the vocal cord, but it had started to narrow his breathing, and he had to go on this machine with a mask on his face. And she said that once he had collapsed from breathing, that was going to be it. They wasn't going to be able to revive him back up, right? So we didn't want this track, and that's why they had to put the track in his throat. we didn't want that, but we didn't have another choice. So thank God so far they say that it's gone. It never, and they didn't want it to come out the vocal cord anyway. So he went through everything. And so far now he's in recovery. He rang the bell and everything. They say he's in recovery. We have to go back. And they didn't see it any place else when they did the assessment. We have to go back in October. But the question that I wanted to ask her, his hair never did drop. But what happened, it stuck the growth of, but they never tell us nothing about no cold cap or nothing. They never administer that to us. And it stopped the growth of his hair. It wasn't growing, and his beards and stuff never grew till now that the treatment finished. His hair started to grow back, and he started to get the moustache and the beards and stuff again. So, you know, I know most people that go through the chemo, because they say that that's the worst. I don't know, but I understand both of them are bad because they kill good cells and bad cells. But that's why I wanted her to explain to me, well, why his stuff never drop out? It just start the growth.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, so I'm just establishing it didn't fall out, but it stopped growing. Is that what you're saying?
That's what she explained, yes.
No, it never did drop.
It did not fall out.
It didn't fall out.
I trim him for the first treatment, but after that, then it you know, it just stayed. It didn't drop, but it stayed, you know, like low. It didn't get, you know, like high that he had to be trimmed.
Okay.
It never did.
Every type of chemotherapy has a different strength. So I don't know your I don't know your husband's diagnosis and his treatment regime, but you also said he only had one round, so that may have something to do with it.
One on Monday, one door to chemo, the rest with radiation, the most.
So that may have something to do with it. So what happens is on the first round, it will stop the hair growing. On the next round, you might start to get what's called some shedding. Normally it's round 3 and 4 that you start to see the hair loss, but for your husband, obviously he had that advantage. So one, they wouldn't have mentioned the cold capping if he's only having one round because it wouldn't be necessary. And number two, it's sometimes not mentioned because there is one particular type of drug which is referred to as the red devil. There's no point in you doing the cold capping. Your hair's going to fall out anyway. And as I say, what happens is with the cold capping, the cap has to stay on once your chemotherapy finishes up to 90 minutes. And you know what? For some people, just go home. Especially if you're a young mom and or a young dad and you've got children, and realistically, you just want to get home, lay down, let that nausea pass, so that when they come in from school, you can be present with them. And also, you've just seen the 250 wigs we have. Come on in. People don't realize. I remember one girl coming in and she went out with long blonde hair down past her bottom because she said, well, that's what I've always wanted. If I'm going to do it, I'll embrace it. But we also have wigs here for men. So again, remember I said about the cold capping is there for every cancer patient on the island. The same goes for the wigs.
Yeah. And what really did to him too, it messed up his throat. He couldn't swallow. They had to put the feeding tube in his stomach. That's what done to him bad too. He couldn't swallow. His like swollen and stuff. He couldn't swallow. So he had to have the PET.
What type of cancer did your husband have?
I forget what they told me. I don't know. I can't remember.
Son is it was in the larynx, throat cancer.
Yeah, I was going to say
it's in the larynx. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so again, the radiation. Remember, that's very, very high intensity, and it's burning. So that would be why he wouldn't be able to swallow, because internally it will be burnt.
Yes.
And they had to put stuff in his mouth and stuff. Just now he started swallowing and stuff, but he got a pack out and he got the track out, thank God. And the track thing was giving us problem to heal. He's still under the ear, nose, and throat. He don't have to go back to the doctor. We need to till October. And they say that, thank God, so far they see no cancer in other part, which we're praying and I'm knocking wood, whatever. But he's doing for the now, and he had lose so much weight, but he gained, and his pressure is always good. All his fats are good so far, so we just hoping that he's not that old, but he's 72 years old, but he was a heavy smoker. I think that's what he got, the hair.
Okay, I won't comment on the smoking, but what I would say is remember that green juices, Ensure, yogurt, protein powder that he can swallow easy, anything like that, just to keep his calories and his nutritional intake up. Even ice cream. I don't normally advocate for ice cream, but at this time I would do. But thank you for calling
Thank
in.
you.
And
Thank
for
you
your
again.
question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Oh my God, Bev, look how time flies when we're
I
having,
know.
and, you know, I really hope that people can understand and appreciate the amount of information that you share here with us today. Thank God for this platform, and
Thank you for
that the
inviting me,
resources that
Sabrina.
are out there, that, you know, they are aware and they're more informed of what services are available and resources that you all provide there at the Cancer Foundation. Now, if you could leave every person in the Cayman Islands with one single thing, what most important advice regarding, you know, breast health would it be?
It's very simple. I've said it numerous times. I told you I'm like a stock record. Please be aware of your chest, because early detection saves lives.
Mm-hmm. There we
Oh,
go.
there you go. You knew what I was going to say.
Beverley, it has indeed been a pleasure, you know, and I will give you this opportunity to leave us with some closing words, whatever you want to re-emphasize with our listening and viewing audience here today. And I know that persons do go back to these podcasts and they watch it after the fact. They're telling their friends, and you can see that based on the growing numbers of views that we have right here. But most importantly, I want to give you this opportunity to leave or to say what you want to our persons who stayed with us, who've commented. And I want to thank everybody for actually commenting. Jim has been very, very participated a lot this evening, and his comments were sound. I'm really happy for that engagement. And you know, we can't take this for granted.
No,
And we still have to give thanks right here for being in the Cayman Islands, and everything that you have shared here with us is free. You know, that is the biggest takeaway from it.
Yeah.
And where are you located? I can pop
okay.
a
So
picture
first
up
of all,
here.
Miss Island Pearl, I'm really thank you for saying that you've learned a lot, but it has nothing to do with you and isn't in my family. Please, please, my darling, remember that less than 10% is familially linked. Don't mean that that's the reason you don't get your checking. So that's for her. We are based in Grand Harbour. By pure coincidence, with the pink building, that's pure coincidence. If you're looking at Hurley's supermarket, there will soon be open Haagen-Dazs. I'm back to ice cream again. We are the two buildings next door to that. So Unit 18 and 19 Grand Harbour. Our website is www.breastcancerfoundation.ky, or you can email us. My email is bev@bcf-cayman, or just, we're on social media. Please follow us, because everything we do is on there. If I can, I just would like to say a few thank yous. Sabrina,
hey, Bev, it's your time. Go right ahead.
Thank you to you for having me on there. Thank you for having my back for those years when you were the health minister, because we did have lots of long conversations into the night, and the fact that you're still an advocate for hours means the world. I would love you to come in, and we'll take everyone on a tour of the foundation. I cannot do this without my team. I'm not a solo person. So to Pam Lawrenson, who is our wellness manager, to Claire Thorpe, who works with me on awareness and wellness, and to our two young ladies that have just joined us. They're in their mid-20s, Miss Leah and Miss Grace. They're doing an unbelievable job, and they are helping us change what the foundation is about. It is more about the young people, and that's why we've taken them on board. Thank you to everybody that gives us $1 up to 100,000, because we have had one person that give us that. We cannot do what we do without Cayman Kind, without people donating to us. there's a lot of NPOs on this island. There's a lot of people shaking tins and asking you for donations, and I get it. But 58% of cancer in the Cayman Islands is breast cancer. So Miss Carla, hello, I love you. And that is one of my lovely ladies. And so, we can't do it without that support. It costs a lot of money to run the Breast Cancer Foundation because there is no charge for anything and we get no government funding. It's all thanks to Caymankind. $1 makes a difference because all those $1 add up, and think that your $1, when it adds to somebody else's and adds to somebody else's, will actually save somebody's life. So please don't be afraid of your body, and that early detection saves lives. And please come and visit us, even if you don't have breast cancer, even if you don't need a voucher, please come and visit us and see what we do, and maybe volunteer for us, or get us to come and talk to your church group, a group of sisters, some girlfriends, anything and everything, your workplace. If your work haven't had us in, you know what, go and knock on your manager's door and say, why haven't we had the Breast Cancer Foundation in? And we're there for men and women. Right. We've got 2 wonderful gentlemen we're supporting at the moment, and they're walking out and among you, and you don't realize it. And that's because of the work that we do.
Right. Beverley, thank you so much. It was indeed my honor to showcase you and definitely highlight the works and all of the offerings there at the Breast Cancer Foundation, Cayman Islands. And, I know we are a blessed nation to have organizations like you, and definitely to donors, to supporters that make this a reality, that anyone going through anything right here, you all are a conduit, you're a wealth of knowledge and information, and definitely, why not tap into it? It is indeed a pleasure.
It's here, so come use us. We don't want to sit and twiddle our thumbs.
Correct. No sense doing that. No. But thank you so much. Be blessed. Continue with the great work. You are greatly appreciated on behalf of all of the CMR TV.com family, and by extension, the Cayman Islands. We thank you for everything that you do, and all of the other NPOs out there, and for all the great work that you do in making our beautiful Cayman Islands a better place to be in. God bless.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. There you have it, Cayman, another informative discussion, and giving me the opportunity to showcase, inform you, keeping you abreast of everything that's going on, and understanding the mission, the vision, and the purpose of the Breast Cancer Foundation here in the Cayman Islands. I hope you were enlightened. I hope you were informed. And I want to take this opportunity to thank all of you for sticking with me today and for your contributions as usual. It has indeed been a pleasure. Please do have yourself a wonderful afternoon, and tomorrow is no different. There's a new NPO that's in town. It's called The Gray Area. Yes, The Gray Area. We'll hear more from Oscar DaCosta, Mr. Oscar DaCosta, and his wife, who have formed a new NPO. Again, other services and resources here in the Cayman Islands, and hear it from him directly, who is right now suffering and battling brain cancer, brain tumors. It's amazing how people are reaching out, making themselves accessible to you, and knowing what this NPO can offer so much here in the Cayman Islands. So we have another informative show tomorrow scheduled for you. I look forward for your continued support. Until then, have a blessed afternoon. That's a wrap for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks. Thank you for tuning in and for being part of the conversation. Remember, the dialogue doesn't stop here. Stay engaged, stay informed, and most importantly, stay empowered. We'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m., same time, same place, right here on CMR TV and radio, where your voice matters and your truth is heard. Until then, Cayman, take care of yourself and each other.
That's it for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks, where your voice matters, your story counts, and your truth is always welcome. Join us weekdays from 5 until 6:30 p.m. right here on CMR TV as we dive into the topics that matter most to you. Catch the show live or on demand at cmrtv.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram so you never miss a moment. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and always speak your truth.